Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Crypto Masters podcast, helping the general public master an understanding of crypto assets. My name is Brian.
And my name is Ross.
And we are the Crypto Masters. The topic of today's episode is Perpetual Protocol. It's a derivatives decentralized exchange with perpetual contracts. Did you catch that, Ross? Perpetual futures with up to 10x leverage, and it's decentralized.
Wow, perplexing.
Drama. A quick reminder, our goal here at the Crypto Masters is to provide information to help you decide if it's something that you might want to look into further and invest in. And we generally go for more longer term holds. We're not really for short-term traders.
Absolutely, Brian. And I'd say we do the hard research so you don't have to. We give you those key bits of information on different and various crypto assets to see if it's right, a right decision for you, if it deserves a spot in your portfolio. But wait, before we begin, this is not financial advice because we are not financial advisors. We're not.
That's true.
So, we've got to say it. That's just how the rules of life work. But, we hope that we're providing enough info for you to allow you to make your own investment decisions.
And do your own research.
And do your own research after you listen to this.
All right.
Perpetual Protocol is another advancement in decentralized exchanges. So I'm eager to get started, Brian. Let's dive in.
Well, then let's get started. So Perpetual Protocol is a DEX that's based on both Ethereum and XDAI blockchains. And we've talked about Ethereum blockchain before, but not XDAI. Don't know much about it, but it is an Ethereum virtual machine-based blockchain. It's not part of Maker. We've heard of MakerDAO with its DAI stablecoin. Mm-hmm. But Maker is a collaborator and an initial validator. But you know what? This isn't about XDAI, so I'll move on. But so Perpetual Protocol was originally known as Strike. And many of our listeners and viewers have heard about highly leveraged futures trading on centralized exchanges like Binance, Bybit, BitMEX, and Deribit. Those are sort of the big centralized exchanges.
For sure.
And we've talked about centralized exchanges for spot crypto trading that are decentralized like Uniswap, Bancor, and SushiSwap. So those are decentralized, but they don't have leveraged futures trading. But you know what? Perpetual Protocol does. So that's the twist. That's the thing that it adds, and it's cool.
Right on.
Perpetual Protocol version 1 was launched in December of 2020, pioneering the virtual market maker model. You'll talk about more about that. In less than 7 months, the protocol had facilitated over $19 billion in trading volume, making Perpetual Protocol the top decentralized derivatives exchange in the world. So what can you do on Perpetual Protocol DEX? You can go long or short on a growing number of assets, includes BTC, ETH, DOT, Polkadot, Synthetics, YFI, and more. You can trade with up to 10x leverage.
Ooh.
Can't do that on the others.
Big stuff.
Yeah. Trade with zero gas fees when you're on the XDAI blockchain, not when you're on the Ethereum blockchain. All the trading is 100% on chain, and the key point, the trading is 100% non-custodial. So just like a DEX where you're not turning over your keys, that you're not having your assets in custody with the exchange, it's 100% non-custodial.
Yeah, very, I'd say crypto Satoshi spirited, this project. I'd say,
absolutely.
Brian. Maybe that's a bold statement for some of you out there, but I'm gonna stand beside that. But yeah, big picture here. How protocol or Perpetual Protocol works. Perpetual Protocol is a decentralized perpetual contract protocol for every asset made possible by a virtual automated market maker, which you've touched on before, Brian.
Well, we've talked about the automated market makers. We've got detail on that with Bancor, but the virtual automated market maker.
Yes, this is from here on out, I'm going to try to refer to that as VAMM, but I'll probably
kind of like the AMMs, but with a V in front. Got it.
Yes.
Virtual. Got it.
So yeah, like Uniswap, traders can trade with VAMMs directly without the need for counterparties. The VAMMs provide a guarantee on-chain liquidity with predictable pricing set by constant product curves. The VAMMs are also designed to be market neutral and fully collateralized. So PERP holders, which we'll talk about the PERP token in a second, that's the native token to the Perpetual Protocol here, but the PERP holders can become stakers, and by staking the PERP tokens in their possession to a staking pool. In return, stakers are rewarded for a portion of the transaction fees in stablecoins plus staking rewards in PERP. And I'll get into that more later, but I think a big note here you want to take away from, my talking here is that VAMMs, they're virtual. You don't need to hold the underlying asset. It kind of just looks and observes the underlying asset's value and obviously
the pricing, like a futures. You're really only predicting or betting on, in a sense, the price, the future price. So just like with a futures ETF, they don't have to hold the actual underlying asset. So it's kind of the same thing here.
Maybe like gambling in a basketball game, you don't have to own, the team or anything. You can just bet on the score. That's a stretch there. So just strike that from your memory.
All right. Hey, so the PERP exchange model is different from other exchanges, including AMM-based exchanges. So key points to begin with. Perpetual Protocol does not use liquidity or liquidity providers. Like we've talked about on Bancor and the same on Uniswap. You have liquidity providers. You don't need those here. Perpetual Protocol is 100% AMM based. There is no order book. So it's an AMM, like we said. The on-chain price reflects trades on Perpetual Protocol. So the price only moves when positions are opened or closed. So they're not using an Oracle, like Chainlink or something. It's the prices are what's reflected on the site.
Mm-hmm.
But so here's important. Traders use the collateral, and in this case, it's USDC. So USDC is used to open either a long or short position in any given asset. We talked about what they have, ETH, Bitcoin, and others. But the asset that you actually use to place the trade is USDC. So every asset, every time a trade is made, the VAMM calculates the entry or exit price, the same way prices are calculated using Uniswap or other AMM-style exchanges. An important difference with the VAMM is that no swap is occurring, right? Like on Uniswap, you're literally changing ETH for DAI or whatever the thing is.
Some ERC20 trade there.
Right, exactly. So unlike that, where you're trading asset A and leave with asset B, like on Uniswap, on Perpetual Protocol, traders always arrive with USDC and then leave with USDC. And this allows the protocol to operate without ever having to hold the underlying asset, like you said. So the details on how perpetual futures work is beyond the scope of this podcast. Maybe some of you've done it before. Like the centralized versions, when leverage is used, Perpetual Protocol also has liquidations when certain margins ratios are reached. If you've done this on a centralized exchange like Bybit or Deribit, you know what I'm talking about. But basically, if you don't have the margin or the certain amount of comfort that the exchange needs, then you basically get liquidated. You've basically got to have the collateral. So if the prices get a little bit out of whack, you just get liquidated, and that protects the protocol. It's the same on the centralized exchanges. So that part of it is the same. And they also they use funding rates. And if you've done, again, the centralized exchanges, the funding rates sometimes are incentivized because they want the longs and the shorts to balance. And so same type thing is used here on Perpetual Protocol. And so this, is familiar to you if you've used it. If not, you should know that there kind of is a learning curve with this stuff. So if you're going to get on and use it, be careful, educate yourself, and be aware. There is this bottom line. There's a lot of risk if you use leverage, and the more leverage you use, the more risk there is. So be careful.
Yeah, absolutely, Brian. I gotta say, we kind of cater our show to beginners.
A little bit,
Hopefully
yes.
that kind of has gotten broader as we've gotten further into this podcast. But yeah, beginners out there, be so careful when you start using leverage. I mean,
Yeah.
ramp that thing up. I myself, I've never gone over like 3x leverage. That's just me. I'm more conservative.
I went
on
5x
leverage.
and got burned. So.
Yes.
There you have
So
it.
if you put it in there, be prepared to lose it. So
Yes, absolutely.
for sure.
They say that about, just cryptocurrencies in general, but it's not true. Like they say, be prepared to lose all of your investment. If you bet in Bitcoin, you're not going to lose all your investment.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a fact. There's
It's not
no
going to
way
zero.
that Bitcoin is ever going to zero. I wouldn't say ever, but in our lifetime. So, but with the futures and the leverage, it is possible.
This is your chance for your account to go to zero, for sure.
It is, yeah.
For sure. So yeah,
I think we've given enough warning
we've
on
beat
that,
that dead horse for
it
sure.
was warranted. So.
yes. So now the caution flags are out of the way. So let's get into staking on the Perpetual Protocol. And I should mention, Perpetual Protocol has a great getting started guide, which I'll link in the description for the actual logistics for using their site. And I really thought this was easy to follow, very helpful, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, their documents are pretty good.
Oh yeah, and even found some. I think there are YouTube videos put out by the protocol.
Yeah.
I could be mistaken.
They
But
have some
they
videos,
have some
I think.
very good guides for getting started. So I know this can be, especially as a beginner, a lot to take in. But staking is a bit complicated, but in general terms, this is how it works. So let's start with the goal. The goal of staking PERP is to allow the exchange to react to emergency situations, such as market events that create a major demand or drastically cause the price to dip. Such a dip could cause the exchange insurance fund to be depleted, which would, be disastrous. So the staked PERP tokens can be sold to cover this. And the staked PERP achieves two things, or staking PERP achieves two things. One, ensuring the demand of PERP, and two, keep PERP off the market, which in turn drives up the price, less price movement, less volume, such. So this is the purpose and the foundation of staking. Now there are a few things you need to know before you stake on PERP. Again, or before you stake on Perpetual Protocol. I keep interchanging the token. So don't get too confused there. But and again, I'm linking a ton in the description, so please scroll down, check that out. But I've got a numbered list here, Brian. So kind of keep me honest with the number. I always get my counts off. But one, you may keep your coins or tokens staked for as little or as much time as you wish. But know that when you unstake your assets, you want to cash them out. There is what's called a cooldown period that lasts 7 days, which means your assets are essentially locked and won't be deposited into your wallet until the cooldown is over. And just to say, this was an improvement from the original launch for cooldown. The time originally was 14 days, so they shortened it to 7. But 14 days to me is kind of yikes.
It's not too unusual.
Yeah, not too bad.
Lockup period.
So, and just some 2 caveats to that, under 1. So first caveat is your PERP tokens will, of course, not earn any staking rewards during the cooldown. And 2, if you stake an amount of tokens during the cooldown period, your tokens within the cooldown will be restaked. So say you're trying to pull out, 5 PERP, and then you want to stake 10, they're going to assume, this person must not want to be in the cooldown anymore. We'll throw those back in. So that's just a kind of caveat you may miss in the beginning.
Okay.
So on to step number 2, or I don't know what this list is.
Item? Maybe it's called item.
Item 2. Yeah, here we go. So rewards are distributed weekly from the DAO reward pool and can be withdrawn immediately. Oh yeah, baby. As someone that gets paid, bi-weekly, I kind of like this. This is pretty sweet. Or if you're a miner, especially mining Ethereum, you don't want to cash out too much and take too many, gas fees. So maybe if you're mining, once a month is kind of when you get paid, maybe more. But yeah, once a week is pretty sweet. Item 3, there's what's called vested PERP rewards. So those who have their tokens or coins staked for a period longer than 6 months get rewarded for it. So you will have a vested reward balance that is essentially unlocked after a 6-month period. And this is kind of to, to distinguish who's really in it for the long haul. If you're really, staking for that long, they want to kind of reward you for it. So kind of a kickback. Hey, thanks for doing that.
Encourages it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And 4, rewards are calculated weekly on your reward number. Wait, hold on. Your rewards are calculated weekly on your rewards number and will not increase until after the calculation every Monday. So, if you've done some yield farming and staked, you'll probably see it just, automatically update. It's going up, it's going up, it's going up. But if you stake on Perpetual Protocol, you'll notice like for a week, your rewards are just 0 and you'll probably freak out. So
gotcha.
On
it
that
does
Monday,
it all at the end.
Yeah, it does it all at the end. So never fear.
Yeah,
Never
which
fear.
is fine because really before that it doesn't matter really.
Exactly,
Right? It
yeah,
can go up
yeah.
or down before your actual payday. So yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a warning. If you see it at 0, don't worry. Rewards are coming. So yeah, Brian, I've mentioned the PERP token a little bit. Why don't you tell us about the tokenomics? You are the tokenomics Superman.
I always seem to talk about tokenomics. All right, so as you've said, the token here is called PERP, which reminds me of a cop show. Ross, do you have eyes on the PERP?
Oh, I like it.
That's my thing for PERP. All right, anyway, PERP, the PERP token is an ERC20 token. Holders of PERP token have governance voting rights. Like we've discussed before with other projects, they are in the process of turning over more of the governance to the DAO or to the owners of PERP. So they're in the process of doing that, but it does give you those voting rights. As you mentioned, there's staking, and owners of PERP then can earn some yield by the staking, and which also takes the PERP off the market, which drives demand. So you got into that. That's kind of what the PERP token does. The total supply of PERP is 150 million. They initially issued 100, but the total supply, they say, is 150 million. And about 45 million of those are in circulation right now. The 150 is not an absolute hard cap. There are some circumstances that can allow the minting of some more. And I think the DAO, once it gets to a DAO that's really voting on everything, they can increase it. So it's not an absolute hard cap, but it is right now it's the maximum. So here's the token distribution. 55% of it goes for the ecosystem, the rewards, like you said, for staking. 5% of it went to a sort of a token pool launch on Balancer. I don't know if it was an airdrop, but it was something similar to that. So that's 60%. So here's the other 40 though. 21% went to the team and to advisors. 15% went to strategic investors, and another 4% went to seed investors. So 40% went to insiders. So I kind of have to hold my nose when I read something like that. It's just a little too much for my liking, for the initial distribution to go to insiders. But anyway, 40%. And so, the initial token distribution wasn't great, and there is still a lot of inflation, about 45 million out of 150 million. So tokenomics are
Okay. Well, right on. Well, right on. So where can you buy PERP? If we've, piqued your interest here, although we hope you do more research.
Yeah.
So naturally, PERP is a ERC20 token. So naturally you can buy it on Uniswap, SushiSwap, and other DEXs. For centralized exchanges, it's on Binance, FTX, Kraken, Hotbit, OKX. So, relatively easy to buy.
Yeah, that's a lot of places.
The founders, when it was called Strike, were both from Taiwan. There was not a lot of info on them. I have heard a podcast on them. I can't remember what podcast, but yeah, sound like really down to earth guys. So something to note though is that version 2 will be launched soon called Curie. I hope I'm saying that right. Curry or Curie?
I didn't see a date on when. They say it's upcoming, but I didn't see when. Did you?
Yeah, I saw one line on the website. Just keep up to date with their Twitter. But, as these projects are developing,
coming soon,
as any software project, dates are flexible and pushed out. So that's no red flag to me. But yeah, it's supposed to have some improvements, of course, over the current version. So, yeah.
All right. Well, Ross, let me just say, like as we usually do whenever we're doing our research for these assets, I if it's something that can be used, I like to try to get on and use it, like we did with Bancor and some of the others where you can actually get on and use the project. So I tried to do it here, but I got the X because of being an American. It didn't let me on. I didn't really want to do the VPN. I'm a little reluctant to do that. So Americans should be aware that you can't actually get on and use the PERP, which is unfortunate, but you can't use the protocol. You can't use the the futures derivatives exchange, but you can buy the PERP token, and Ross told you where you can get it. So you can still invest in this. So, it's appropriate for our show. You can invest in it even if you can't actually use the site.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll just note this. I did use my VPN and fake like I was in Germany. I didn't use the site. I just kind of viewed the features. But so, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. You absolutely can use your VPN to get on something like this, but the crypto masters do not recommend that.
No, we don't. We're not telling you to do that.
Do not do that at all. Because, if they do, there are other ways to figure out your location. So if they do figure out you're in a...
Well, my thing is, I always wonder, like, if something goes wrong, I have no rights. Like, you're not supposed to be here. We're not going to worry about you. Yeah. So...
So
I wouldn't do it. It's unfortunate, as Americans that, the SEC has justifiably scared off these projects where they have to say, Americans, you can't use it. But it is what it is, as they say. And so, we can't use it. But you can still invest in it, and that's something to think about.
Yeah. And I just want to make that note because I know people that have used VPNs like, oh, yeah, I'll use a VPN, got on. It's like,
it's done, and it can be done, and maybe I've experimented. I won't say too much, but I know how it goes. But I'm very, very reluctant to do that. All right, Ross, I think it's time for final thoughts.
Oh, I like it.
Who's up this week?
I believe it is you, sir.
Is it me?
I could 50% says I'm wrong. There's a 50% chance I'm wrong.
I'm not sure either, but it doesn't really matter. So I'll take it. I'll be happy to take it. So Perpetual Protocol is another advancement in the crypto space, and that's what we're all about here. I love it. So whenever we have ground being broken in the crypto space, and that's what this is, because you look at centralized exchanges. What are they doing? So Bancor and Uniswap and SushiSwap said, oh, we can do that without the custody. We can do that decentralized. And awesome, right? For anybody in the crypto space, that's great. Yeah. But what else? Oh, wait, these centralized exchanges are doing the derivatives, like we see in the traditional finance markets with stonks. You have derivatives, you have futures, you have options and all that. So can we do that in the decentralized world? Perpetual Protocol says yes. Here it is. And so I think that is awesome. I wish I could use it. I'm not big on. I would probably use a little leverage if I could do it legally. On occasion, it's not really necessary, and I've been burned before. So I'm a little gun shy, but it would be nice to have the option to do that. So, and Perpetual Protocol is the leader. There are others, there are competitors out there, so keep that in mind. But again, has the first in advantage. It seems to be doing well. I'm not invested. I don't own any now, but after doing this and knowing where I can buy it, it's definitely on my radar. I think it's a good project. I love anything that advances the crypto space, and that's what this does.
I like it, Brian. Well, following suit, I don't own any PERP tokens right now, but yeah, I do see this project doing well. Coming from, web development, software development, I love that you can have the complexities of crypto, but you don't want to put that necessarily on your user, right? You want to have them log in, connect a wallet, put some tokens on the, on this thing and be able to use it. And I think they've done an excellent job of that. There's tons of resources. So you can learn. And if this is your first time using leverage, you can experiment with that. So I thought
we both said, I think their documentation is very good compared to other things in the industry.
Very good. Yeah. Clean user interface, very easy to use. I wish I could use it because this thing
Yeah.
is very, very cool. And again, I don't own any perp tokens, but I do see this thing doing well. And it's got that foundational backing or foundational thinking, that really, really pioneered Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and really was Satoshi's vision for everything. So
Well,
I say right on.
And we all one of my things that I love about DeFi is it's actually generating fees. It's generating revenues, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you look at the revenues that Deribit and, the centralized exchanges, Deribit, BitMEX, Binance on its futures and leverage, they're generating lots of fees from that. And, anything that generates fees like this, if it can do something comparable to the centralized exchanges, which I assume it will, generating fees, you're going to have value.
Oh, yeah. This thing's, it's just going to do well, I really think.
All right. Well, hey, everybody, that is another podcast from the Crypto Masters. Tune in next time. We'll cover another crypto asset.
That's right. And guys, if you like this podcast video, leave us a comment, subscribe, and hey, check out thecryptomasters.com. Check out, our list of coins. You can do charts, historical stuff. And hey, we've got a secret little friend on there, Professor Hindsight. See what you could have earned if you invested in a certain token a while back.
That's pretty cool. And we're always improving on the website. So check it out, thecryptomasters.com.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.